this video, I'm going to tell you how you can still travel to the United States even if you're subject to President Biden's COVID-19 travel ban. A bit of background about the travel ban first. It prevents people who have been in the following countries for the last 14 days from boarding a flight to the United States. Those countries are any Schengen area country, the United Kingdom, the Republic of Ireland, Brazil, South Africa, China, and Iran. If you've been in any of these countries within the last 14 days before your trip to the US, they're not going to let you board the flight. Now, it's important to note that these bans aren't specific to nationals of these countries. The ban is for anyone from any nationality who has been inside of the country at any time in the last 14 days. For example, if you're a national of Mexico but you've been living in Brazil, you can't travel to the US directly from Brazil. The ban is not for nationalities, it's for the country you've in despite your nationality. Now, there are a few exceptions to the travel ban, even if you've been in a banned country within the last 14 days, or you currently live in a banned country, and I've listed all of those exceptions in the blog post that I've linked below. If you find yourself subject to the ban and you don't meet any of the exceptions, there are still a couple of ways you can travel to the US. First, you can apply for a national interest exception at your local embassy. You can contact the embassy to find the procedures of how to apply and where to send your application, and we're happy to help you with that if you contact us at the link below. If you're subject to the ban and you don't qualify for a national interest exception, there's still a way you can travel to the United States. Now, the trick here is to spend 14 days in a non-banned country before traveling to the United States. For example, if you live in Ireland, you can travel to Istanbul, spend 2 weeks in Istanbul, and then board a flight to the US. I've had multiple clients do this with no issue at all. If you choose to circumvent the travel ban by spending 14 days in a non-banned country, there are a couple of documents I definitely recommend you take with you to your border crossing in the US. Number one, the boarding pass from your flight from the banned country to the non-banned country. Number two, the passport stamp that you got when you actually entered the non-banned country. Number three, a hotel receipt from your stay in the non-banned country. And number four, the actual US regulation that implements the travel ban, so you can demonstrate to the airline that you're no longer subject to the ban, having already spent 14 days in a non-banned country. One extremely important thing to keep in mind when you're booking your flight from a non-banned country to the US is not to have your flight transit through a banned country. If the wheels of the plane hit the ground, you will be subject to the 14-day travel ban again. This is even true if you don't leave the airport and you don't even get a passport stamp. If the wheels of the plane hit the ground, you're subject to the ban. And this also applies for people who were never subject to the ban in the first place. For example, if you're traveling from somewhere in the Middle East or Africa, but your flight transits through Europe, you're subject to the ban and they're not going to let you board the flight. One special warning for people traveling on the ESTA visa waiver program: don't book your flight while you're still in your banned country, because sometimes the airlines are reporting that to US Customs and Border Patrol and they're canceling ESTAs erroneously. Now, this is a mistake and it's not proper procedure, but it has happened to people and I don't want it to happen to you. So make sure you book your flight after you've spent 14 days in a non-banned country. Then you can make the purchase and travel to the US. And finally, make sure you have a negative COVID test before boarding your flight to the US. The airline won't let you board without a negative test. This goes for anyone from any country traveling to the US, including US citizens and green card holders. If you have any further questions or would like help planning a trip to the US, contact us at the link below. Thank you.